that lens. There we go. There we go. That's better. Sorry, I might be loud. I don't know because I'm not really paying attention. Let's see who shows up. We're going to talk about a couple things. I had a bunch of people tell me I just didn't know what I was talking about on a topic that pretty sure I knew what I was talking about. So let's see who shows up. We are currently in the studio because, well, my daughter is working and it's cooler out here. Out of character, it is definitely cooler out here. Let's see here. All messages, get that set. We're going to talk about something. I can't ever tell if it's my hat that's crooked or if it's my head. Always bothers me. Always bothers me. So let's see who starts showing up. But as much as I wear Zero Foxtrot clothing in these videos, I should probably reach out to him for a sponsorship. Kristen Bureau. Kristen B. What's up? What's going on, sir? Yeah, I did a video the other day, and I was talking about something, and I was pretty clear. I gotta throw this away. I just ate, by the way. If you happen to see any food residue in my mustache and beard, I just ate. But I did a video. I want to say it went up a couple days ago, but it was about a knife. And I still have the knives here. I was going to take them back to their owner, but I wanted to address it in this live feed. I had so many people tell me that, I mean, they basically questioned my, they said I may have a learning disability. There was some people that were very upset that I had spoken badly about what they call a superb knife. And I'm like, you know what? I don't really think you guys 100% know how many knives I've had come through to base that judgment on. And the fact that I'm very good friends with some really good knife makers that make stellar knives. And so I was like, you know, I think you guys rush to judgment on an emotional thing. And it's this knife here. It is the, let's see, can I turn that knife? Hang on, let me get these lights turned on so you guys can see a little bit better. I'm not using any of my studio lights. We're just using natural lighting from outside the garage, but I'll turn that light on so you can see it better. It is that Civivi Vision. Now this is the Vision field grade, the FG, and I also have the original, the WE Knife Company Vision R. And I have for a very long time said that this is not a safe knife. And I'm going to show you why. And if you're here, I'd appreciate it if you just double tap the screen, drop the like. It will help kick us up the algorithm. We may go outside. It's a nice day. We may go out and sit in the yard a little bit. But this was the original. And it's got, now these were a Snex design. And I've met Snex. He's a nice enough dude. I just don't like his knife designs. I can say that. I love Elliot Williamson. I don't like all of his knife designs. I just have not found one of the Snex designs that I have not found one of these Snex designs that I like. But my problem with this one was this knife is fine. And if you like this kind of has that kitchen knife style to it. It would work really well as a folding kitchen knife because it does have that offset. So you're off from your parts. It does do a really good job for that. And it is not an unattractive knife if that's something you're into. But it does. It just reminds me of a folding kitchen knife. But let me tell you, I'm friends with Leon Ma, and I didn't like the folding chef knife he did. I didn't like the Spidey chef. I just didn't like them. So Christian says, pardon me, I like that knife for the lock. It's not the Shark lock from Demko, it's a little bit different. Like the internals are different than the Shark lock and everything, but for all intents and purposes, it's very similar. So now you can see this one works really well. The problem with this one was, now I'm going to show you this, and I found this out by accident. If you go find my video on this, I was messing around with this knife and I was deploying it with, I just did it by accident. I was deploying it with the lock like you would the Shark lock. and I pulled down on it, and I pulled up a little bit, and then it disengages this. And everyone told me, and I talked about it in that video, the last video that I just put out. And if you guys want to watch it, you can go find it. It's like, did they fix it, or is it still a turd? Because I think this knife is a turd because of that. But what had happened was I also put this in my pocket, and because the way the pocket clip is located, I caught this on the lip of pants because I knew I needed to kind of turn it in to engage the pocket clip. So I put it in my pocket, and I kind of like put it in at an angle, and I disengage this by putting it in my pants. And then I've got a knife that is now free spit, like it's broken until you push that down in. And I said, that's unsafe. And they're like, no, they did it on purpose. It's a feature. They did it so you can clean out inside that knife. And I'm like, it really doesn't give you that much more access to clean inside your knife. I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. So 42 people here already, cool. And I know that everybody that was defending it because like, oh, they did it, it was a feature, it was supposed to be like that, it's so you clean it. They're wrong, and I can prove it because I'll tell you now, but you can also go watch the video I did because it's filmed much better than what we're doing right now. Much more cleanly and edited, and the audio is gonna be about the same because I'm using the same microphone. But I know that they're full of it because the field grade that came out does not do that. It doesn't. It doesn't. So that tells me that they're full of dookie. And so the people that argued with me are wrong. Now, I'm not going to say that this is not a great knife. I did a lot, I talked a lot about this. I don't like the pocket clip on this. I hate these pocket clips. I didn't like them when John Graham was using them on his Razors. It's an attractive knife, but I'm gonna tell you right now, this is not quality forge pattern welded Damascus. It's not like Damacor or anything like that. It's not. I mean, it's really cheap, like crappy Damascus, if you want to call it Damascus. But I can appreciate that some people like to look at this, and I can appreciate the fact that some people do like that offset, and they can use this as a folding paring knife or a small kitchen knife. So Hubba Bubba says, dang, that's beautiful. It is attractive. I'm not going to say it's not an attractive pairing of micarta and high nickel content Damascus, but I don't like it. I much would prefer it to have a compression lock like on this, which I'm gonna do a video because I just made my Military 2 radioactive, or a frame lock like this, because there's another reason I don't like that lock. This one is just, I'm sorry, this is a liner lock, frame lock, liner lock, they're pretty much the same. And now that we're out in the studio, lots of knives we can mess around with. Or something like this pivot lock. Oh, was this Red Rum? What's your opinion on Extrema Ratio? They make some very solid knives. A lot of them are really thick behind the edge, and I think they're kind of pricey. I think they're a little bit more expensive than they should be. I really do. It's not that they're not good knives. I think that for me, that price point just is not for me for what you're getting. But they're really good knives. I'm going to finish the military soon. What would be a good buddy for my fixed blade? I have a couple of knives, depending on price point, what you're looking at. I have a couple knives that I absolutely recommend. I have not tried, so Everything Sharp asks, Cold Steel FM1, have you tried it? I have not. A good companion for a fixed blade. It depends on size point. There's a lot of things that would go into that. There's a couple knives I could absolutely recommend. I have this out and in pocket today. This is the Mini Nightshade. And this is absolutely better than the, it's still here. I have not packed it up, I don't believe. Yeah, it's still here. I got stuff I got to pack up and send off to Jared over at Neves Knives. This is the full-size Nightshade. And then this is the Mini Nightshade. This is absolutely the best possible combination of stuff that they did with this knife to make it even better than the full-size version. It's lighter, it carries better, it's got a really good axis lock on it. I think that it actually cuts better because of the distance between you and the blade is less, and you're up on it. Just so many things that are so much better about this knife than its full-size version. And I love a good access lock. Unfortunately, Benchmade does not make those anymore. And I don't mean access locks, I mean good access locks. As a matter of fact, I can't think of a time that they actually did. All the access locks I've ever gotten have been jacked up, and I can show you. I've got this knife lives at my house. The sharpness 40, I don't know what you're talking about 40. There's only one level of sharpness for me, and that's paper cutting sharp. So if you're looking at something that's going to take a piece of phone book paper here and do that on phone book paper, then that's what I don't know what 40 isn't a level of sharpening. And if you're talking about on like that best sharpness tester, I don't put any stock in the results that anybody gets from those. Ziggy P09YT. Hello to you. Hi. So, like, if you're good at sharpening, you get your knife however sharp you want. The problem with that best sharpening tester is it's really easy. It's really easy to trick them. It's really easy to trick them because if you go fast, you're going to pop through. You're going to get less resistance. If you go really slow, you'll get a higher reading. So those best. Jared over at Knives Knives did a video about that. So you guys don't get to see the studio very often. We are in the studio, and this is where so much stuff lives. All of my sharpening stuff is in here. If you guys want to know, like, pretty much the best all-around sharpening stone you're going to be able to find, this 1000 grit. This is the Shapton ceramic whetstone. It is the orange medium. It's about 1000 grit. It is probably the best all-around sharpening stone you're going to find. I've taken 20 CV at 63, 62, 61, 62, I believe is what it was run at. I took 20 CV at a hard heat treat, at a you know, the heat treat that is like the industry standard. I stripped the edge off of it, and I absolutely put it on that stone with no other prep at that, and I sharpened it back to hair popping not too long later. I mean, it didn't take very long. I can't remember. I did a video about it. I have a leather strop. Leather strop, this has 9 micron on one side, chromium oxide on the other. I have a balsa wood strop here. I have several strops. So a leather strop will get you pretty far in maintaining your edge, but if your knife is dull, you're not going to be able to bring it back if it's dull. You just can't. A strop will only do so much. I got to hang this up. There's a lot of stuff going on right now. So since I'm laid off, I've been trying to deal with the unemployment agency. So the unemployment is really, like, I'm trying to get my account built and everything so I can put my resume in, and they're like, I called them and they're like, what seems to be a problem? I was like, well, I log in, and when I fill out my information and I hit submit, it just sits there and pinwheels and doesn't actually fill out the information, and then it times out, and I've been doing it since Thursday last week. And they're like, oh, well, we'll look at it for you. And then I get an email saying that I'm almost delinquent in submitting my information if I want to continue to get my unemployment benefits. And I'm like, I'm fucking trying. So that's why we're doing this. I needed to step away for a minute. Please say hello to Tatiana. I don't know who that is. Al or AI. I don't know who that is. What's my favorite steel? Josh Haywood, what's going on with you? If I had to pick an all-around favorite steel, I have 2. They're way up there on my list. Actually, there's 3. There's a couple. There's a couple up there. Right now, I'm digging crewwear, which is what's on my military 2. And as you can see, my military 2 is just getting some work. There's some wear lines on that. Let's see, can we get a good view of it? Can you see all the wear lines that are starting to form on this? This thing is getting some work because I'm curious how long this crewwear is going to go with just strops before I actually have to sharpen it. And I mean, I've cut up a ton of cardboard, and this thing is still and all I've done is hit it up on a strop. So I don't know what it's going to take. And I mean, I cut up a lot of cardboard. Wife sent a bunch of stuff from Japan that I had to cut up the boxes. It's Finland. Hey, well, it's nice to see you from Finland. So favorite steels, 14C28N. 14C28N. I don't throw a knife. I was in the military, and I know throwing a weapon away is a bad choice. 14C28N, great all-around steel. It's really good. It's on the budget end of things. Crewwear, awesome all-around steel. Seems to be holding up really, really well. I do like 20CV. 20CV is a great steel. It has some limitations. It has some things. You gotta play with it. And if you want it to be perfect, you gotta have a really good heat treat. That's what I made all my custom knives in. But if I had to pick 2 that are my all-around favorites, it's 14C21 or 14C28N and S90V. So S90V is just a great all-around steel. It's a reworked, if you go and look at all the stuff, it's basically a reworked, recombined, re-alloyed type of 440, I believe. And it's great. It is really good. It's really resistant, and it's really resistant to oxidation. It takes a crispy edge. I've been carrying this for a while. S90V are my, how do they go together? I don't know. I just like them both. I find them both to have a lot of the same qualities. They're really wear resistant. They're not. They're really. They keep their edge really well. They sharpen really decent. You don't really need anything special to sharpen them. They take a similar edge. And the nice thing about 14C28N is you can take it way up in the grit if you want that really shiny, polished edge, because the carbides are so irregular in 14C28N that even at a high polished edge, you still have that aggressive, nasty toothiness that you lose in a lot of the super steels. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the other super steels. So that's where I'm at on steels. I do have I have a knife in AEBL that is absolutely incredible. It's the best heat treat I've ever gotten on AEBL, and I'm trying to find it, and I don't know what I did with my Lon Humphrey Custom Tucson. That should be, like, typically I'm carrying it, but I don't see it. It's in AEBL. There it is. I have so many fixed blades. This one is in AEBL, and it's incredible. This is a custom heat treat on this. Let me turn this light back on for you. It's a custom heat treat on this, but this is just like the quintessential outdoor. Like, this is the quintessential, like, outdoor, like, frontier style knife. This is the Lon Humphrey Tucson. Comes with a beautiful leather sheath. This was at Scab's house over at Choir Boys Cutlery for a while. I carry this knife a lot. The sheath is beat up. It's not, I mean, for living in a city. This is absolutely the best heat treat I've had on AEBL, and I understand why some people like it so much. This has got a coarser edge on it. It's only a 1,000 grit edge, but this thing is nasty aggressive, and there's a lot of times that this is on my belt, as you can see by the deformation of the belt loop. I carry this a lot. I go everywhere with this, because here in San Diego, you can carry a fixed blade. What is this? Tony Boom Bots. I love 20CV. Crewwear is my favorite. 14C28, and you can't beat it for price and maintenance. Yeah, it holds up really well. The problem I have with a lot of steels, even some of the cheaper steels like S35VN, is that when you sharpen them too high, they just slick up. They just like this. I took this to 8,000 grit, and it just does not feel aggressive. It's sharp. It's sharp. Let's get that out of the way. It's definitely sharp, but it doesn't have the aggressive. Well, hello from Kentucky to you. Well, hello back from here to Kentucky. Hello, Kentucky from California. I mean, it's sharp, but it just doesn't cut the way I want. So when this gets dull, because there's no sense sharpening a sharp knife, when this gets dull, this is going to go back down in grit to 1,000, which is about the max you want to put on 20 or on S35. It's too fine of a grain structure, and the carbides are too evenly. They're too small, and they're not aggressive. You want to talk about a knife that this is a knife. This is a knife that I love this, and people complain about the steel. This 5CR on this, the 5CR that Cold Steel, and I know that everybody's like 5CR, that's what they make. That's what they make knife handles and like liners in other knives out of. But this Cold Steel has been able to like historically, Cold Steel has always been able to maximize what they can get out of a heat treat. And that's a lot of knife for less than $20. Doesn't have a pocket clip, you would have to have a slip, but even the lock, everybody's like, oh, that lock just looks like garbage. This lock is really robust. I've tested it thoroughly. Now you do give up some stuff, like the centering on this isn't great, but a lot of Cold Steel knives come that way. Speaking of Cold Steel, we need to talk about something. We do need to talk about something. I want to make sure I didn't disconnect my head or my microphone. I have something I want to show you. Do you guys remember back in the day when Cold Steel, when their high-end knives, their more expensive knives, like their Sanmai stuff, came with a leather sheath, like a decent sheath? Do you remember that? I was expecting this. Did not realize it. I placed my order for something, and when I was checking out, I realized, I was like, wait, where's the leather sheath for this? So, well, I didn't check out. I sent my buddy the link. I bought a Taipan. Well, I didn't buy it. I have a friend that is in the military. He's gotten out of knives. Do you see a folding knife? Constantly, like in my pajamas. Hamison, I always, that's how I wound up unemployed. Somebody complained that I had a knife at work. I bought a Taipan in Sanmai. Now, I didn't buy it. Technically, my friend placed the order. He had been buying knives for people and collecting the points, and that's how he built his knife collection. He would tell people, oh, I can get you that knife. Just let me know. I can get it at, I get it at a discount. He would give them like a $5 discount and then buy them the knife and just eat the cost. So this used to come with a leather sheath. These were great knives, and they came with a brilliant leather sheath. I know this because I've handled a bunch of them. But the problem is, Cold Steel no longer puts a leather sheath with. This is why this knife will never go in the sheath I'm about to show you. Cold Steel has a serious problem with their sheaths. They only use these Securex sheaths. And if you don't know, Securex is fiberglass reinforced. And if you know anything about anything that's fiberglass reinforced, if you cut into fiberglass reinforced nylon, you're cutting into glass, because that's what fiberglass is. And it's going to dull your knife. If you've ever cut anything that was fiberglass, if you've ever cut fiberglass insulation sheets and cut them to size with a box cut, it just eats, like they're dull. It's just like, it's dull instantly. That's what happens with this. So the second you put your knife in one of these sheaths, it's dull. It's dull, and it scratches the shit out of your blade. So I ordered a sheath, and we'll talk about it when it gets here. We'll talk about it. We'll look at it when that sheath does get here. That's another thing that people told me, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. That doesn't happen. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, I have an old school SRK that just came in a nylon sheath. Never have to resharpen that. Never. I have a cold steel OSS that I carry when I go up on the mountain. And when you pull it out of the sheath, the back edge, sharp, very sharp. This back edge, can't cut anything with it. You know why? Because I just drew it out of the sheath. It drags along. Now this forward part that doesn't touch the sheath, scary. Forward edge, scary. This back edge, it was hair popping sharp when I put it in the sheath the last time. You take it out of that sheath, you're gonna draw, and you can see in the mouth of the sheath. Maybe you can't. You can see in the mouth of the sheath where it comes out, it drags across the back of it. Just eats the edge right off of it. I don't understand what they're doing. I don't understand why they're doing it. It's the dumbest thing possible. You're gonna have to sharpen your knife every time you pull it out of the sheath. So if you're somebody that's gonna crossbody draw it, you're gonna draw, like if it's on this side, you're gonna crossbody, you're gonna hit this side. If you're drawing it straight up and down from this side, you can hear it drag. I just sharpened that. You guys know how sharp I get things. Let's see. Let's see. Right? That's the tip. I guess you still can in spots. Dull. So at the very back, yeah, it won't do it at all. It won't even grab. There we go. At the very back, you can get it on it and then tear it. It's 100% the sheath. The sheath does that. Securex. So, I found a guy on Etsy that makes sheaths for the cold steel taipan, and I ordered one. Since I didn't pay for the knife, because my buddy, what I was saying is my buddy ordered it because he's in the military and he was buying knives for guys in his unit on Blade HQ, and he was using those points to build his collection. So he would tell the guy, like, I can get it for you for $5 off. I can get it for you for $5 cheaper. He'd keep the points, and then he would get knives for free. He told me he's got tons of points, except there's anything I wanted. I was like, well, I want a taipan. He goes, done. He's like, I just need your address. I'll ship it to you. Let's see a huge knife. Somebody wants to see a big knife. Okay, I have a couple. I'll show you a couple. I got something else really cool to show you. I got to start putting stuff away. There's not room up here. I can show you a huge knife right after I show you a folding tomahawk. Who doesn't have one of those? Who doesn't need an access lock folding tomahawk? This pin screws in, locks it in place. This thing's cool. This thing's cool. It is a little heavy. A huge knife. I have a couple. So I have Josh Haygood. This is a knife that you probably won't ever see again. I have an inside scoop that this is probably never going to happen again. This, yeah, it was KATSU. This is the Mako by Carnivora that I can't even think of his name now. But at any rate, so that one was good. No, that's not ADV. That's KATSU knives. There's that, but I do have a knife that Scab gave me from over at Choir Boys Cutlery as a gift, which is this. I want you guys to put things into perspective. I am 6'3", 235 pounds, and I wear XXL gloves. That's a knife. That is a big knife. This is bordering on a short sword. As a matter of fact, this is not much smaller than a butterfly sword, if you know what that is in the martial arts community. Butterfly swords, not much smaller. This is Work Tough gear. Yeah, so this is the Work Tough gear Grizzly. This is the one that I laid my thumb wide open with. What about non-locking knives to stay legal? Where are you at? I mean, you must be in one of those countries where you don't get to say anything, and people that came to your country are stabbing people in the neck with knives. Because those are the only places that I know where non-locking knives are illegal, except for Japan. I do know that you can, actually locking knives are legal in Japan, but they have to be of a certain length. I was talking about staying legal. Bro, I carry this on walks with my dog and it's legal. I don't know what you're talking about. This is my nightly walk, the dog knife. This is what I carry when I'm walking the dog at night because we have fucking mountain lions here. Stay legal. Here's what I gotta say. Fuck that. That's all I got. That's all I got on that one. Fuck that. You guys need to come to Jesus is what that country needs. I gotta start putting some of this stuff away. So you must live in a country where people can rampage about the streets with knives and form pedophilia gangs, but you can't, come arrest you for mean tweets. I personally like my speech a little more free. Have you reviewed any Momin knives? I have not. I've heard of them, but I've never gotten one in. I'll tell you what I'm really starting to dig. This one. Well, first of all, this one. I like this integral. I do not usually like integrals. I really don't. I'm going to sit down over here. We're going to relocate. I'm going to sit in my comfortable chair. Bladed Ginger, why are you not working? Or you're like me, laid off. Let me see. Can I get this in a position where I can sit in my comfortable chair? And you guys can still see me trying to get comfortable. Ah, there we go. There we go. In my comfy chair now. I haven't gotten to see it. I have not got to see that new integral. I've been carrying this. I honestly had to put a knife away. I'll get it. I'll show you. Well, you guys have seen it. I had to put my my Microtech amphibian away. I had to put it away. I just wasn't carrying the things I needed to be carrying. Here's the problem. You know why it will not happen in the USA? There are more guns than there are people, and there's a lot of really angry people here. See, unlike the sheeple in the UK, when they try to take our weapons, we're just not going to give them to them. That's the problem. They have to know that you've got weapons to take them, and they got to know where they're at. And even if you have weapons registered, I guarantee you the majority of people have got more weapons than they have registered. All of mine, by the way, were lost in a horrific boating accident. That's why we kicked the king out of our country. Personal freedom is a thing that will prevent things like that from happening in this country. I'm telling you right now, regardless of how hard they try, they know for a fact they just can't do it. Okay, I don't want to get into that because I'm going to tell you it's not going to work here. They tested it and it went south, and that's why they're not going to try it again, because the majority of people are like, yeah, I'm not fucking doing that again. So I lost all of mine in an underwater basket weaving incident. Yeah, it was horrific. It was a horrific boating accident. We lost my guns, my friend Matt's guns, my friend Nico's guns. We were all in the same boat, and it was a horrific boating accident. We hit a log, and the entire boat rolled over, and we were in like 8,500 feet of water. So no chance that we're going to get those back. Let's see. Let's see. Anybody? What is everyone else carrying? We already talked about what I'm carrying. I'm carrying. Sup, nameless EDC. I will give you guys a couple recommendations for knives that you should seek out. So this one is the TS301. If you can find the one in 14C28N, Crewware is the best. SPK Lamia. I put my Lamia up too because I was carrying it a lot and it was starting to get some patina on it. I had to clean a little bit of surface rust off of my Military 2 and my Crewware Lamia. This is a great knife, budget knife if you can get one. This is a knife that is very, very thin, and this feels more like a fixed blade than it does a folding knife, to tell you the truth. It really does. This feels way more like a fixed blade when you're cutting. It definitely does. It got all the feel. The only thing it does have a pocket clip, so you know that you're carrying a folding knife. Absolutely recommend that one if you can find it. If you can find the 14C28N one, it's even better. Another Tucson is. Am I really close to the beach right now? Yeah, I'm literally. I can walk to the beach in about 45 minutes. If the dog and I are going for a walk, we can walk from here to the beach. This is the Tucson's TS383, also in 14C28N in titanium. It's so light. That's why I love this one. So, yeah, I live just outside of I live just above Tijuana, right on the ocean. I mean, literally, I take pictures of the ocean from the top of the hill when I take the dog for a walk. It's not very far. I'm about the same distance. About the same distance from the border as I am from the ocean. As a matter of fact, the other day, this guy and I, we walked all the way to the border, didn't we, buddy? So, I don't think my proximity to the ocean is what's causing the rust on it. It's me. I have for years I've talked about the fact that Crewware, D2, any tool steels, I can, like, I don't know what it is about my sweat. They're gonna rust heavily. So it's always been a thing that I know, and so I'm just cautious of it. So I am keeping real close tabs on my nicer knives that are in things like Crewware and D2. Especially it's pretty humid here, so the combination of that. This one, if you guys go find my video, how did this even happen? I got my microphone cord for my lavalier mic caught up in my knife case. If you guys can find the video I did on this, or follow my links down below, go to Blade HQ. This is great. This is probably the best knife. I think this is the best knife I've ever bought. It's not the most expensive knife I've ever bought, and it's not my favorite knife I've ever bought. But when it comes down to bells and whistles and all around, I think this is the best knife I've ever bought. And then I would have to say, then on that same would be my my Norseman and my military too. Those are all knives that I've bought that are just on like super high tier. But I think everything combined and then the price, I think this is the best knife I've ever bought. I only paid $302 for this, and I think they're $330 now on Blade HQ. Hey buddy, are you hot? Go lay in front of the fan. I got my buddy here. Hi. You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. You want to say hi? Say hi. So, yeah, good boy. Yeah, good boy. Give me a kiss. Give me a kiss. So he doesn't like lick you when he gives you a kiss. He sticks his nose on you. He doesn't like actually like licking you very much. He'll lick your ears. For some reason he likes it. But when he gives you a kiss, he doesn't lick your face. He sticks his nose on you. And so I give me a kiss and right on my mouth. Dog nose. Wind up with some weird bacterial infection. Sad thing relating to puppies, dogs. What's up, kid? Hmm. Okay. Just be careful where you park. You can take him if you want. Just make sure you take some doggy bags and make sure you take that piece of paper that he's chewing on away. Thank you. Yes, you're absolutely, just use my car and so, bro, put the green screen on. I can't, I can't do it this way. There's no real way to do, can you do green screen effect? Let's see, hang on. I don't think I can. Let's see, can I do an effect? What's this? I'm trying desperately to figure something out, and it doesn't look like. I'm on my computer. I'm not on my computer. I'm on my phone. So I'm not using OBS. I'm on my phone. I don't do live feeds that way anymore. I used to do live feeds, not with OBS. I used to use StreamYard and Streamlabs and stuff like that. Greg Vanderlip, hello. Let's go check what it's like outside. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's an okay knife. It's well done. It's well built. It's just I don't like Snex's designs, first of all. And the original one had a definite dangerous flaw in the mechanism. So it is. Say hi. She's working.
No, I just clocked.
She just clocked out. So let's go take a look out here. I don't know how well my signal holds up. The Artis Accelerator, yeah, Mike did a very good job on that knife. It was a really good design. Ooh, it is a beautiful day. It's not really that hot. It's a little humid. The yard what? My wife said the yard signal is really bad, but... So my dog managed to kill all of this grass. So I do like to film occasionally from my bench, but I definitely do have my coffee there. So, no, in the house, in the house. You're not allowed out here. You lost your yard privileges. He started digging. Like he dug up the entire... Call you a super lock apologist. I mean, it's okay with the new one that they fixed. You have a CRKT CEO in your pocket? I'm sorry. Can I show you a couple of better options for that? Because there's a video about that coming soon. I hate the CEO, and I really don't like CRKT knives to speak of. But I do have an option for you that is going to be a better, much better option at a relatively cheap price point. This is the Yoka. J-O-K-A. The Yoka. Is it the Yoka? Hoka? Doka? Anyway. It's just done by Rosecraft blades. This is a better option than a CEO. Oops, I missed the flipper tab. This is a great little option instead of a CEO. And then if you want to get like a higher end option, there's a very nice option that you can get. And I have a link to them down below. KATSU Knives, the Solstice. So I have with, let's see here. I have with CRKT, I have that same love-hate that I have with Benchmade. I used to love CRKT knives. As a matter of fact, the first flipper knife I ever bought was a CRKT. It was the M16T, which is the titanium version, and it was the smaller version of the M16. So if you guys remember, the M16 line was Kit Carson design, and they did it in a bunch of different formats. I had the smaller one, which was in titanium. And I loved it. And then I got rid of it, and then I got another M16, and I was like, what the fuck happened to these knives? In the span of like less than 4 years, it went from, this is a decent knife, to, I will never buy one of these knives again. In a span of 4 years. I have to call out a company for putting out great knives. I've yet to see a bad one from them. Max Ace. If you're looking for a brand that you're just going to get a good knife every time, check out the Max Ace stuff. I don't know how much this one cost. I did not buy this one. Sorry, I'm moving around. Put that microphone right there. So, I like the Boker. I like the Boker Quaken. Some of the Burnley stuff was good, and that's I was like really happy when I started seeing that Boker was releasing some stuff that was of higher quality, I guess. Which was the Burnley stuff. So Boker put out some stuff, and they had a small little fixed blade. What do I think about it? Everything's sharp. Bro, I just told you, this is... Oh, the steel? I don't dislike the steel. Like, people have complained about it. I've only had to sharpen this once. And I carry it, you guys see it, I carry it a lot. Only had to sharpen it once. It came with a decent edge. And then when I sharpened it up, it's sharpened nice and easy. It has held its edge. I put a much more aggressive edge on it. Holy cow, this thing is dangerous sharp. Like, it is frighteningly sharp. I'm checking on something right now. Sorry, my bad. I'm checking on my other phone. I got a text from a friend of mine that does not have the new number. Holy crap. You know what else? I just looked. That's how many of you guys are watching this right now. 2,944 views in the last hour. Yeah, I absolutely love the fact that Boker is releasing knives of higher quality. The Burnley Quaken was a very good knife. I wish I had bought one. I wish I'd bought one. I think they're discontinued now. I'm not 100% sure. They may or may not be, but I loved it. There was a knife that I bought, and they've changed it. I did that knife as a giveaway on the channel, as a matter of fact. I bought it, I carried it. It was the Boker Tough, the T-U-F, the Tactical Urban Fixed Blade. And I loved that knife, but I didn't carry it all that often because it just was uncomfortable to carry and stuff like that. And so I got rid of it. It was uncomfortable carrying uniform. I carried it in uniform for a while when I was in the military. And I got rid of it and then regretted it. And when I went back and looked for it again, they had the 2.0, the Tough 2.0, and I didn't like that one. So I have not yet found an old Boker Tough to, I have yet to find a Boker Tough in the original format for me to replace it with. And it's sad because I did love it. But they did a lot of really good designs, but they just, like, they had really good designs, but then they just executed them very poorly, kind of like Kershaw. Tell you the truth, I hate Kershaw. I don't like ZT either. I really don't like ZT knives. I've owned a couple of them. I got rid of both of them. They all had issues. They all had lock issues. And so, ooh, sorry about that. I didn't expect that to be that loud. They all had lock issues, and I didn't like them. But Kershaw was a company that could have done so much better, and they kind of had a couple good knives. Had the Leek and the Chive. And they also had the Blur, which is an okay knife. The problem I always had with all their knives is they were assisted opening. I don't want that. I either want an auto or I just want a folding knife. The whole assisted opening thing was just horrible. And I came to realize after I started getting to be friends with knife makers and started making knives that assisted opening is what companies that can't make a smooth knife do. So you get that same feel you would get as if you had a good flipper, but they don't have to make a smooth knife. That's something that has driven me, and that's the problem I had with one of the ZTs I owned. I owned the 0300. I had the ZT 0300 BLK, the black one, which was a Mick Strider and Ken Onion collaboration, I believe. And it wasn't good. And then I had the Kershaw Blur, which was a good knife. I just didn't like Aiden. Nice, there you go, guys. So, hey, I'm not asking everybody to drop a super chat, but it would be nice if you'd at least drop a like. That would be cool. Aiden says, I was rewatching your old video on sharpening Tontos. Good stuff. Yeah, it's a good video. It's a good video. That is behind a paywall. I apologize. That video he's speaking about is, I believe one of the ones he's talking about, is a members only behind a paywall video, which was part of the sharpening tutorial series. I don't like the Kershaw launch autos. I don't. If I'm going to get an auto, which I'm not a big fan of autos, which is part of the problem. I don't like the launch. I just don't find it to be a knife I like. Carry of the day, unassisted cold steel air late drop point, and a Spartan. I haven't decided what my actual carry for the day is going to be. I have not had a lot of knives in my pocket today. I've been busy, but the knife that always finds its way in my pocket lately is the military too. And it's been in my pocket all day, and I pulled it out and I realized that it was all sweaty and I need to put a coating of oil or Vaseline on it. Vaseline actually works really good, guys. We talked about that. I have a thing of that Carnivora Blades blade wax, and it works pretty good, but it doesn't work any better than Vaseline. Just a light coating of Vaseline on a knife like that. Backyard Country Boy, what's up? This blade on this, I wanted to talk about this because this is probably going to be in my pocket today. The blade on this knife really, I put it in the case, and I forget it's there. And when I pull it out, then I'm like, I'm in love with this knife all over again every time. You have a knife like that where you'll stop carrying it for a little while and then you break it out and it's that knife that you're like, oh, fuck, why don't I carry this more? That's what this is. This is just an all-around great, great smaller knife. and it's 100% the ergos that are on it. It feels, it's got that comfort level of an outdoor knife, like a skinning knife. And in this pinch grip like this, when you're up on it and you're using it, this thing is just amazing. I love this Max Ace Meerkat M. It is an incredible, incredible knife. And that finger choil that's on it, you don't give up anything. You don't lose any blade length because you don't have a finger choil forward. So you've got that choil there and you've got really good control of that. It's about a 3-finger grip on this, but you're up against this and it's great. But then this area here, you can use it like a choil. You can get way up on it like this and really bear down and cut. And it's just, Jared sent me one for review, and before I even finished the review, my buddy Winston Capretti, you see him in the videos all the time in the chat. He's one of the paying members. He sent me one as gift, and he sent a lot of stuff. There's so many knives on this channel that have been gifts from him. I actually have like 4 of his knives here for review. But I was like, such a great knife. So I sent Jared's back to him. When we did that line of video, that run of videos of stuff that Jared sent. So this is great. Aiden says he's currently EDCing a cold steel Kobun because he forgot the folder. You know what I forget what operation it was that they dropped a bunch of operatives in SEALs and CIA operatives and stuff like that, and they all were issued a cold steel Kobun, which is the boot knife version of the Recon Tonto. Yeah, I have so Michael, I have a QSP that I forget that I have, and I forget that I could to carry it a lot, and that is the Kestrel. It's sitting over here on the shelf. It sits there, and then I walk by it all the time, and I forget about it. This, in my opinion, I love the Penguin. I have one of the original Penguins. David, over at Blade Banner, he is the US rep for QSP. He actually sent me one. He sent me the QSP Penguin, and it's in denim micarta, and I dig it. But Jared gave me this one. Jared over at Knives Knives gave me this as a gift. This is the Kestrel. And I think this is the best small knife, period. This is the best small knife that they make, period. 14C28N, burlap micarta, really good pocket clip, nice look to it, nice little clip point blade. It cuts well, you don't give up a lot. It's still got a lot of blade there. And even for a small knife, I have a full 4-finger grip. So I like the original Penguin, the one that was in D2. So I like the $30 version. Everybody's like, "Oh, you should get one of the Penguins in like Damasteel and titanium." I was like, "Why? Does it cut any better?" If the answer is no, then I'm not getting that knife. I love the one in D2. As a matter of fact, I took that knife and I ceramic coated the blade with black ceramic to prevent the D2 from rusting, because I didn't want to have that knife come up, like go bad on me. This one is in D2, or I'm sorry, in 14C28N, and just takes a ridiculous edge. But like I said, super comfortable, carries nice. This is an all-around winner of a knife. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Oh, yeah, there we go. Yours is in D2. What's everybody else got to say? I'm just gonna, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm tired. That was a bad idea. This is a bad idea. I'm gonna go to sleep if I do that again. This chair reclines all the way back, and it has a footstool. Like you can recliner in this. So it is 85 degrees out here in the studio. Give me a second. We're gonna go move this fan a little bit. I have a knife that I'll show you guys a knife that I did not like when I first got it. Absolutely did not like it when I first got it. It's over here. I got to go over here to get it. Absolutely did not like this knife when I first got it. I might grab a couple of knives here and talk about them, because why not? Why not? You guys are here. Oh, hey, there's my studio lights. So those are brand new. I reached out to the company. You guys know I talk about, like, I have the studio lights and stuff here that I use. This is just off the wall. I reached out to Releno, who these lights that we have here. These are so these are what are they? The 192. So there's 192 LEDs in this. It's got this light panel in the back. You can control your brightness and your color rendering and stuff like that, right? And I've used them for about a year. I had used them for about a year, and the switches on both of them went bad. Like, when you would go to turn it on, this cord is, we're probably gonna change to just the other mic. This is really starting to bother me. It's sharp. That's bothering me. We're probably gonna get rid of probably gonna stick this on our shirt instead. At any rate, or on my hat, one of the two. Let's just do that. There we go. That works. The switches went bad. There we go. We'll do it scab style. The switches stopped working, and so you would have to play with it, and you would have to find, like, can you guys still hear me? Is this nice and clear? I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me. The switches would get to where, when you would try to turn the light on, you had to, like, kind of work with it, and you're like, what the fuck? So it didn't ever, like, work right. And I reached out to the company. I was like, hey, I've had these. I know that your warranty is weird, and, like, I don't have my receipt anymore. I bought them on Amazon, and I showed them. I sent them a video of what happened. So what they did was, if you guys look, if you come with me, I was like, I can send them back. I was like, I can send them back. And they were like, no. And they sent me 2 new ones. So these ones and these ones. Now, I'm going to try and fix the switches in these. But these were great. But I'll show you what happens is, when you go to turn these on. So it comes on, right? But it doesn't come on all the way. And then see the switch? It flickers. And what you got to do is you got to find a spot inside that switch where it actually fully connects, because if you turn it on all the way, it doesn't work properly. So if I can get those switches fixed, it would be great. It would be great if I get those switches fixed. You know what, guys? It's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm done filming and everything for the day. My daughter's done working. She's getting ready to take my car and go with her friend. You had fruit? You microwaved your fruit?
Frozen fruit. I don't like frozen fruit.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't
So I
like.
microwave it, and then basically I eat the fruit. But when you microwave frozen fruit, especially blueberries, there's juice that comes out, like blueberry juice.
Yes.
So then I put the juice in a cup, and I drink a cup of, like, blueberry juice and eat my strawberries.
Microwaved blueberry juice apparently is her new thing.
It's basically like what they do to make a puree for, like, what they do, like
That's what it's like.
strawberry lattes or whatever.
Uh-huh.
They heat it up, and then it makes, like, a bunch of, like, juice.
Or you can just let them thaw out and put sugar on top of them.
But I don't put the sugar.
Are you using my old Apple Watch?
Yeah.
Cool. You need more. I need more sriracha. What do you need more sriracha for? She loves sriracha.
I need more sriracha.
We have a whole nother bottle of sriracha out in the garage. Guys, I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, I don't have them as a sponsor anymore. Not to turn this into a plug, but I have an affiliate link for Coffee Brand Coffee down below. And if you want to try the best coffee that you're ever going to have, in my opinion, is the best coffee I've ever had, is their blackberry cream. It's one of their summer flavors. You can only get it in the summer. Oh, God, guys. I literally would drink enough of this to give myself a heart attack. I literally would. This stuff is so good. I bought 2 bags of it a month ago, and this is the 3rd bag. I had to buy another bag before the wife and kid got home. Chunk, move. Move, buddy. Move, buddy. So, if you want to, you can go use the link down below. It saves you 10%. Or you can use coupon code crazysharp, which I think saves you 5%. But I do have a link down below. So you could have at least washed the cup out. Oh my God, did I not? No, you didn't. It's okay. It's all right, baby. I'm joking. But while you guys are here and we're hanging out, I'm going to show you guys something else that you should check out because it's amazing. I got to grab my beer mug for my beer glass first. Oh, I need the actual glass for it because I'm going to pour myself a beer. But I have, and we've talked about them before, I have a set of the Ferrum Forge kitchen knives. There's a specific way to pour this beer, as a matter of fact. I learned when I was in Japan at the brewery how to pour this specific beer in this specific cup to get the optimal flavor and head, because like they're absolutely no joke. If you don't pour it this way, it doesn't taste the same. Like if you just pour it in a glass, it doesn't taste the way that it does if you pour it the proper way. So you guys know, I've been friends with the boys over at Ferrum Forge Knife Works for a long time. And their kitchen knives are about the best kitchen knives I've used. Yeah, it tastes like an assisted knife if you pour it wrong. So you got to wait until it gets to a certain point. Yeah, probably the best kitchen knives I've used, and I've got a lot of kitchen knives. As a matter of fact, you know what this reminds me of? Is like this is what I could see people wanting that we vision for, is a folding version of this. This thing absolutely is. It's nice and thin blade stock. They did it in. It's like 17 layers, but it's a stainless steel core Damascus. So these aren't that expensive. Ferrum Forge Knife Works, if you use coupon code crazysharp, you save 10% off your order. I don't make anything off the sale of these knives, not a penny. I'm just telling you because they are a great set of kitchen knives. They have this one, which is their kitchen toku that they designed, and then there is a paring knife that goes with it that they call a utility toku. Which it's over here. I don't use it very often because I'm just like, I have a couple other really good paring knives, but this is their paring knife. This is their utility toku. So there's 2, and they come with these. They come with. Forgive me. They come with these, so I don't have to like worry about putting them in a wood block. I can toss them in my drawer with all my other expensive kitchen knives. But my other kitchen knives that are in that drawer, the nicer ones, are also in like hard-sided cases. But this is something to protect your stuff. It's got a nice solid edge guard. It's a leather thing. They stay like that. So if you have not checked them out, go over to Ferrum Forge Knife Works. And you can just put them, you put them in your cart. You can save 5%. Use my coupon code. So these have been great kitchen knives. I use them every time I'm cooking anything. You use a sand block. So this is my favorite beer. This is Ebis. It is the oldest. I think it is the oldest current functioning brewery anywhere. And this is the Ebis cup that you're supposed to drink it out of. These, my wife brought all these from Japan. She bought this all the way from Japan. Oh, that is a good beer. That is such a good beer. So, don't remember. You remember when you had your first beer? I don't. The head on it is so thick. Like I'm like, oh. I was getting ready to say I don't like head, but let me see. How do I go? I don't like a big frothy head on a beer. There we go. That makes more sense. Less likely to have you guys ridicule me. I should just do this for live feeds every time instead of worrying about the thing. This just works really well. Oh, it's some non-abrasive particulate that you can. Okay. But cheers, guys. I swear to God, I say it every time. I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna smack his headlight with a bat because he drives up and there's people that have little kids walking up and down the street, driving like an idiot. So, I had this out for a reason. I wanted to show you guys. I've been carrying this a lot lately too. This is that La Sanction by Acheron Knives. So it's a Bastinelli design by Acheron Knives. Josh and Michael, if you guys do that as a shirt, put my face on it and say some guy on the internet, and then put a link to my channel on the back. I'll be down for that. Just like, I don't even want a cut of the profits. I just want you guys to put my YouTube channel out there. I don't even know who, like, I used to know who everyone was that was on my live feeds, but it's got to a point, like, when we do this, when we do it vertical like this, like I said, this live feed in the last hour, let's go grab, we're going back out there. It's hotter in here than it is in my studio. That is insane to say. I used to know everybody that logged in on one of my live feeds, and I knew them by their usernames and everything. Right now, we're looking at this live feed has gotten 4,000 views. So the likelihood of being able to remember everybody that logs in. So we were talking before I went in to grab my beer. I didn't forget. I told you I was going to show you some knives that I didn't like at first, but I definitely have started to fall in love with. And it's, well, that's disappointing. Well, that's not a nice thing to say to anybody. The one and only Nicole, that's not even going to go up. Steve Banner, hello. I'd remember you if I saw you're very attractive. I mean, I'm no slouch. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know what I like about this lighting? You can't see that big scar on my face like you usually do when I do it in the house. And the lighting is, it's mainly because the garage door is open. This is a knife that I absolutely did not like. Whoa, I almost spilled my beer. Almost didn't. Well, I'm not putting that one up either, the one and only Nicole, because the fact is I try to keep this channel a little bit more family friendly. I do curse and swear in my live feeds every once in a while, but my pre-recorded videos are not. But it's this. Cold Steel Voyager. Did not like this. And I think a lot of it had to do with, a lot of it may or may not have to do with the way that this took an edge. Am I making any knives? No, my shoulder's too fucked up. As a matter of fact, it hurts to, I'm not gonna lie, guys, it hurts now just from holding the camera. So, Acheron knife, that was the La Sanction. It's a Bastinelli design, done by Acheron. It was so, This is funny. It was Bastian from Bastinelli Knives in Florida, designed by him for Acheron knives in France, but uh, made by Viper Knives in Italy. So it was Florida, France, Italy. That's a truly thing. At any rate, this is a great knife, and a lot of it, the problem I had with it was I didn't like the steel at first, and then uh, I started to realize it was because of the edge and everything. And what I was doing was I was trying to take this up to too high of a grit, and it just did not cut the way I wanted it to. And so once I realized what was going on, because it would feel sharp, but then when you go to cut something, it just didn't have any bite. So I started sharpening this at a different grit on different stones, because this is BD1, CTS BD1, and I've never been a fan of that steel. I didn't like the BD1N. I don't remember. Leaf was stuck to my beer glass. So I'm gonna try and the toothy edge is good. My shoulder's all screwed up. I'm probably gonna have to have another surgery, and I was hoping to be able to get back in shape this spring and summer, but my shoulder has been so bad I haven't been able to really exercise, because you got to lift weights. Like everybody's like, oh, just go for a run. That doesn't do anything. Like, running doesn't do shit. Running just is good for your endurance. And you know how I know this? Because I've seen a lot of fat people that can do a lot of running. I had a kid that worked with me at 30 seconds, or I'm sorry, in Sasebo, Japan. He would go on just to go to and from work. He was riding 30 miles a day on a bike. He had some incredible endurance and cardiovascular health, but he was fat. So running does not do that much for you. I wanted to get back into lifting weights a little bit and working out. I was going to hang my rings up and do like my stuff, but my shoulder is just so bad these days. And this will be my 5th shoulder surgery. I know it needs it. I can tell by what's going on. I can tell by where it hurts, and it just hurts all the time. So, and I have all that nerve damage from all the other surgeries that's causing a problem. So it's definitely like lifting weights and just doing physical exercise are two different things. Just like running is good for endurance. Running is good for your cardiovascular, which is good. I go for walks with the dog. I walk about 6 to 10 miles a day. Lifting weights is about the best thing you're going to do to actually get in shape. It burns fat. It initializes all those muscles. The muscles continue to burn fat throughout the day. It's a completely different animal than just going for a run. Lifting weights burns fat. Running burns calories. Ugly Potato, how have you paid for your shoulder surgeries? I'm retired, military. You paid for my shoulder surgeries. This is how it works. I got shot at for my entire adult life. I get shoulder surgeries for $20 a pop. And then $12 a pop for physical therapy. This is how it works. I should get more, to tell you the truth. I have resistance bands. But what I have is okay. So there's 2 hooks. I'll show you right now. I have a set of rings, like the TRS bands rings, and they have adjustable lengths, and I hook them to those 2 rings right there. And then I do, because I can't do actual pull-ups. There's had so much damage. I do basically like incline push-ups. So like I'm doing push-ups on the rings at an angle, so I'm not putting so much stress, and I can move that shoulder around, so I'm not like locking it in because I've got screw. I have an anchor and stuff in here. So that's Rem B. I will agree. I'm not going to read it out loud because I don't want the channel fucking hated on, but I definitely agree. But I also can then do the simulated pull-ups on those rings, and I can get them at like different angles and stuff like that. So being able to move that shoulder in different angles, so I'm not putting so much tension on the actual damaged areas and where that anchor is, because that shoulder doesn't move the way that this one does. This one's the way God intended. This one is not put together the same way. As a matter of fact, my collarbone ends right here. They cut my collarbone off. So I don't have a collarbone past that point anymore. So there's a lot of things going on in that shoulder that aren't going on in this one. So I can show you what they look like. They're exercise rings. They work really well. Like I said, but I've just been having so much pain with that shoulder that they're right here. So there's extensions for it. I can basically just hook them to those rings, or basically hook them to those D-rings with these D-rings, with these carabiners, and I can do like simulated pull-ups and push-ups without actually having my full body weight on them. But that was one of the cold steels. I'll show you a cold steel knife that I love from the day it got here, and I had misplaced it for a while, and now I've got it back out. This is great. Body weight exercises are great. Body weight exercises are absolutely some of the best exercises you can do. Because you don't need a weight room to do it. I'll tell you another really good one that is that bridges the gap. So if you want an exercise, I was our physical fitness coordinator at 2 different commands. I ran the physical readiness training, and I did the physical readiness test, the PF. I did the physical fitness tests for several commands. I was always in such good shape, and then I just like joints and stuff falling apart. One of the best exercises you can do if you want the best of both worlds, if you want the cardio and the resistance, fucking rowing machine. Rowing machine will turn you into a beast. It literally, I was like, for a while, it was the only exercise I did. It was the only exercise I did, and I was in stupid good shape. So it uses a lot of the large muscle groups, but you can get away with multiple different push-up exercises. So, so not to get out on that tangent, but yeah, this is a knife. The cold steel Tylite. This is a knife that I forget how cool it is. It's just got so many things going for it. And then it's got that old school, if you're doing rowing right, you're not using your shoulders that much. You're using your back. It's a back exercise. So that's one, but I'll tell you one that this is a knife that every one of you should have. And it is the Cold Steel Super Edge. Absolutely best bang for your buck knife you're gonna get. The Atlas FM1. You are the second person that has said something about the FM1, and I haven't seen it yet. I may have to see if I can get a hold of somebody that has one. I honestly love cold steel knives. I've made some complaints about them. Because they have had some serious... Oh, I forgot that you guys were attached to that. They've had some serious quality lapses from time to time, but in all honesty, not as bad as other companies. And I have to say that they've made several of my favorite knives that I've ever owned. As a matter of fact, I have two of them here. Some of the best knives I ever owned have been cold steel knives. They have. The Shizu. Uh, oh yeah, bro, I saw your response. Yeah, your audio is good. It just like I imagine that this too, like too much treble. I it just it has a tendency to make it sound. It sounds tinny, and I don't like the way it sounds. This is the old school cold steel Shizu in San Mai. And then I haven't seen it yet, Josh. I have not gotten to see it yet. But this cold steel R1 Military Classic is also in San Mai. Great knife. Now this gets beat around a lot. And I know that I saw that Scab was like, oh, I wish I'd watched the video and been a little bit easier on that knife that Mike sent, because he put this through its paces. But the fact is, I do too. Like, I carry this a lot. This is like, I don't give a shit about what people think when they see me carrying this. Speaking of which, the sheath that I got for the Taipan, also the guy asked me, he was like, his name's Harry Savage. We're going to talk about the sheath when it comes, because if it's as good as it looks in the pictures, I'm going to be really happy with it. But at any rate, he asked if I wanted the stone pouch on my sheath, and I was like, well, that's a silly question. Of course I do. And it's not that I would ever use the stone. It's the fact that there's a distinct look to that that goes back to watching Rambo movies. Stone pouch. Of course I want a stone pouch on. What tactical knife sheath is not going to have a stone pouch on it? At any rate, this thing is incredible. This is, if I had to pick the top tier cold steel knife made, I would have to say it would be this one. It's almost an exact replica of the R1 or the Model 1 from Randall Made Knives. They had permission to do it. It's an homage to it. I absolutely love this, and it sharpens up good. This thing just gets the shit beat out of it. Rehandle. No. My opinion on kettlebells. Pizza lover for I used to love kettlebells. Kettlebells are another one of those ones that'll get you that crazy weird monkey strength because you're using multiple muscle groups together, which is body weight exercises like push-ups and pull-ups. That's why they're really good. But pull-ups is what at one point I was doing like over 100 pull-ups a day. I do like 600 push-ups and like 200 pull-ups in a day on a regular basis, and I just tore my shoulders up. And they're both bad, but this is the one that got the brunt of it, because this one got dislocated and separated a few times that this one didn't. So this one has stood up better than this one did. It's just always why we can't damage the arm that doesn't, the arm that doesn't work right. Matches lighter. Oh yeah, Michael O says I use my stone pouch for my matches, or lighter. I use wheel stone. So the problem I have with this one is you have to have the knife out of the sheath to get the stone out, and then it still hits that snap. You see how much trouble I'm having there? I think that this stone isn't the right size stone. That's what I'm thinking. I think it needs to be a thinner stone. I think that's the problem. Oh, I've had multiple knee surgeries as well. Remby, I've had 3 knee surgeries. I used to run. On top of the fact I did lift weights, I still ran. I loved to run. I would run between 6 and 8 miles a day, and 2 days of the week I would run 10 to 12. So I would pick 2 days and I would go on a longer run. So yeah, a logger. I can see a round stone being more useful. I have a bunch of small stones that I would carry around in various scenarios. I had one here, and I don't know what happened to it. It disappeared. I had a, not Norton. What's the company that does the sharpening stuff? They're, oh, geez. It was called a puck. Sergeant Rock's Headbangers Ball. It's not per VA regulation, Swabby. That's why. What's up, my man? Military equipment made by the lowest bidder. Mike was a tank on a boat. All the happy sailors. Emmer Leeds loved him. You're a dick, dude. Lansky. That's what it was. The Lansky puck. I had one of those for a while, and I carried it, and it was nice because you could hold it in your hand and sharpen on it because it had a nice flat spot. Had a coarse and a fine spot side. But then if you wanted to do something like a hatchet or an axe, you could hold it in your hand and you could go like this. Machete, it was great for those. And I had one, and I don't know what happened to it. It's disappeared. I used that a lot for like just work knives. Yeah, this thing is great. This thing is, well, Bill, didn't you send me this? This wasn't this your knife, if I remember correctly? I can't remember. So this thing, I had one of these when I was in Iraq or Kuwait. I can't remember which, but it. I had one because I replaced a Randall Model 1 with one of these. And mine had bimetallic corrosion because I had a tool steel. Norseman's mine. This is mine too. This was a gift from one of the paying members. And I can't remember who sent it to me. There's just too much. But at any rate, so I had a Randall Model 1, but it was in tool steel. And it had an aluminum cap on the end. And what happened was they had screwed the aluminum cap right directly onto a threaded tang of the steel, and then put but it had a leather, like a stacked leather washer handle. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, you're right, I did. Oh, I thought you were trying to convince me to send you my Norseman. At any rate, it was so hot and I was sweaty and I was in and out of a boat all the time, and we got salt water on us, and the knife started to corrode, and I was keeping the blade, but then I noticed that I was getting this weird, like, oxidation and rust coming out of the handle, and I tried just oiling the handle, and I tried to get in, and it just wouldn't stop. And what it was happening was aluminum and steel are dissimilar metals, and they do what it's called galvanic corrosion, which is it's a chemical reaction between two dissimilar metals where they share ions. So one has a positive charge, one has a negative, and it's actually called it's an electrolysis sort of function, but it's called bimetallic corrosion or galvanic corrosion. And it absolutely was destroying that knife. And later on, I mean, I reached out to Randall after I found out, and I was like, I found out from somebody that they don't rehandle knives. And they're like, we couldn't do it. Knives all the time. I was like, well, that tells me you know that you have an issue. You're not addressing it. So I lost a little bit of respect for Randall made knives. They're still great knives. I've sharpened a couple of them. They're still great knives. But I replaced it because it was so similar. I had a guy that traded me my Randall because he knew what it was worth. He traded me that for his R1 Military Classic, and then mine disappeared. Mine went off somewhere. You fuck off. Spam caller. So, do I have any KATSU knives for sale? I do not, but what you can do is you can use coupon crazysharp, the code, at checkout at KATSU Knives, and it'll save you 10%. So it would be like buying it for me at a discounted price. So I do not have any for sale. If I had one I was going to recommend, I have to tell you right now, until the one I would recommend until they finish making my knife, because they're doing a folding knife design for me, I would say the FB03, FB04. No, CK03 and 4. So this is in, or ZK. This is ZK. Jesus, they need to just put names on our knives. This is the ZK03 or 04, I can't remember, and it's ZDP 189 at 67 Rockwell. It's called Gold Camo Fat Carbon Fiber. Ridiculous sharp. This is, in my opinion, every bit as good as a Rockstead. Does Rockstead have a higher level of quality? Probably. But this is as good for the average day-to-day carrier, and it's got a pocket clip, and I'm not afraid to use this one because as opposed to a $1,600 knife, this is only $340, and if you save 10% with my coupon code. Just absolutely gorgeous, and it's a front flipper, so you don't have a weird pocket pecker when it's open. Or so just everything about it's cool. I don't care so much if it was the layered Damascus. I would have been fine with just like a full one-piece ZDP 189, but you know, hey, it's great. This is the ZK04, I believe. But if you go on Rockstead's website, it doesn't matter. You can just use coupon code crazysharp. It saves you 10% everywhere over at KATSU Knives. But they've got a bunch of knives. I have one of their fixed blades here that I'm going to go through. Now that my thumb is a little healed, it's still pretty tender. I cut it real deep. It's pretty much healed. It hasn't popped open in at least a week. I have one of their fixed blade knives here, and it's a beast. I'm digging it, and I'm gonna take it and give it a big time. I'm gonna give it a big time test. It's so comfortable. Oh, that is a nap waiting to happen right there. So, the fixed blade, KATSU. Where's that fixed blade KATSU? It is around here somewhere. I think it's in this chair over here. It's off camera. Yep, there it is. So this is the FB03. So this is the KATSU fixed blade. Isn't it cool? Like I can walk away and still, you guys can still hear me. Wireless microphones are so much better than they used to be. I have one that I bought a few years ago, and it's trash. And that's why it's sitting on a shelf down there, and I look at it and I get angry that I spent the money on it. This one. So this is based off of Japanese outdoor knife style. Japanese, you can still buy knives almost exactly like this in Japan at like hardware stores and stuff for use. A lot of times they're chisel ground, but this thing is absolutely a beast of a knife, and it is weighted just perfectly with that tip forward, like right there, that balance, like it just wants to drop forward. So good. And it's nimble. Like if you wanted a knife that you'd be able to like defend yourself with, it's very, very nimble for a big knife. That's the problem with a lot of big knives. A lot of times big knives, they just feel too big and unwieldy, but this is weighted just about perfectly for it to be nice and nimble for like a tactical style knife. And I dig this. And it is a big honking chunk of steel. Yes, that's the only way to get to Carnegie Hall is practice. So, guys, I see a bunch of people dropping likes. Drop a like if you're here. You haven't dropped a like yet. The only problem I have with this is the sheath. I like how it's nice and tight. Everybody likes how it's nice and tight, right? But like getting it out of the sheath is nice and easy. And I think it's because this is a hard edge going into the sheath, and then this is so it's easier to get out than it is to get in. There's a joke there somewhere. But I think I would want it to be a little bit more difficult to get it out of the sheath. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't 100% understand having both a lanyard hole and a lanyard aperture. Don't get it. I don't get it. But no, this is a great knife. Tech lock style lock on. It's got a spot for a ferro rod if you want some. Some guy on the internet. Josh Haywood, I got to find your channel. I have to find your channel. You have to drop a comment on just one of my random other videos so that I can go and find it, because I can't go back into the comments and pull it up. I just have to find your channel. I gotta find it. It seems like it's gonna be a fun place to hang out. I have a tendency to say things that can be misconstrued, and I do it a lot. I will tell you, my little buddy Nico. You guys know, you've seen my little buddy Nico on a lot of videos. He and I like to mess with each other, and he's not as quick-witted because in the military they rewire your brain, and it's just like hardwired. You cut on your friends and you just roast your friends, and you don't even think about it. Like, he called one time, and he called me, and I was at the shop, and he had went to go get beer, and the phone rang, and before he even said a word, I like put it on speaker, and I'm like, Nico, if you can't reach the beer on the top shelf, you might be able to find a stool or something, or ask one of the workers there to help you, because we know that you can't get to the top shelf. And my buddy Elliot was like, he didn't even say a word yet. You already just started. He got me one time. How much is the knife? I don't really know. I haven't looked it up. They sent this to me. So KATSU sent this to me. I don't know. So I really can't tell you. This is the FB03. I don't know what the price on it is. But at any rate, Nico got me about the best one time. We were at the shop, and I was working on some knives. And I was at the drill press, and I was drilling out holes to put a handle on a knife. I was drilling out holes for the pins. And I didn't want to look away, but there was a truck that was backing down the alley right in front of the shop, and it's like beep, 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 and it just kept going on. And I was like, "What are they doing with that lowboy trailer?" He goes, "Oh, they're delivering your mom's dildo." And I was like, "Fuck you." So, drilling holes in tie frames, but listening. Blessed knives. Yeah, I never liked drilling holes in titanium. I'll tell you what I hate drilling holes in, and anybody that's a knife maker that's on here. Carbon fiber. Fuck carbon fiber. I love carbon fiber if I'm not the one dealing with it. Really not. I love carbon fiber on a knife if I don't have to do it. Because if you've ever dealt with carbon fiber, it's miserable, and the dust gets everywhere. It's all in your face. It gets in your skin, and it itches. It's worse than fiberglass. I've made several knives with carbon fiber handles, and I won't ever do it again. But drilling a hole in carbon fiber, it's a nightmare. I've never had anything that makes a drill bit go, and then you're like, I know for a fact I had that clamp down. I know for a fact that I had that clamp down. And then you get ready to put pins in it, and it's at an angle, and I'm like, how is that possible? I had that clamp down as tight as I could get it. There's no way that shifted. And there's no way, and I was like, there's no way that the drill, and what it is the drill bit will go in, and then carbon fiber is so tough that the rotating, it will actually flex the drill bit and flex it off at an angle. I had a friend of mine, I was explaining what happened. He goes, oh, he worked on oil. He was an oil, he dug test holes for wells and oil wells. Hang on a second. My wife just sent me a text. It's the thing, having phones and are tied to the same account.
carbide bits, drum. It doesn't matter. Like they always, and you're just like you have to like peck drill it and just be real careful, and then it still comes out fucking crooked. And my buddy was like, bro, he's like, that's like drilling through substrate when you're drilling a well. He's like, you'll have, like, if you're drilling a well from top to bottom, you would think that that drill bit for a well and a test drill for water or oil, he's like, you would think that you'd be able to go 100 feet with no deviation. He's like, but you'll hit 100 feet and you have like there's like a monitor that tracks, and he goes, you can see that that might go 2 feet out and then come back down and come in. And he's like, you never hit directly above where you're drilling. You wind up deviating off, and then you get down in, you know, like 8 to 10 feet off from where you initially wanted to drill it. And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah. He's like, it's a known thing in the drilling community, whether you're drilling for oil or drilling for water, that you're never going to hit where you're aiming. You just got to hit in that general vicinity, because that drill bit will travel and deviate some direction drilling through substrate. Could you water jet carbon fiber? How? I don't know how big companies do it. But there's some companies that just do it incredibly well. Drill walk. Is that what it's called? What's up, Bubbles? Bubbles, I got to call you now that the wife and kid are here. I might be able to make a trip out there and film with you, but now that you're not making any fun, I don't know if I want to waste the trip. Actually, it wouldn't be a waste of trip. It'd be fun. It would just be fun coming out and hanging out. Maybe we'd go shooting. Maybe we would go shooting. Sometimes you got to go in the wrong hole. I'm just going to leave that one. My wife sent a bunch of stuff from yeah, I did read it, and I decided to not respond. Oh, I am sweating like a prostitute in a confessional. So, I would like to point out to you guys, I made my spider coat. I would like to point out a couple things. Guys, I turned 50 in 4 days. I gotta say, for a 50-year-old man, I am not in horrible shape. I mean, you can disagree with me if you want, but I honestly have taken okay care of myself over the years. But I put a Glow Rhino plug. There's a tritium vial in that, so technically, I made my knife radioactive, which is going to be a title of a video that's coming soon. This is the best Spyderco I've owned. I love this knife. This thing is just absolutely perfect for a Spyderco. It's got the compression lock. It's the military, the feel in hand. It's crew wear and micarta. I could have done without the big ugly spot at the end, but I just filled that with a piece of titanium with a tritium vial in it. So that glows. So there's a radioactive isotope gas in a vial on that. So the fucking Switch is gonna kick into a whole new level of fuck it in 4 days, where you're standing there on top of the mountain looking down at all you survey. Yeah, I hit 50, and I gotta say, I'm like, my heart, I just had a checkup. My doctor honestly told me that, like, my blood pressure is just about perfect. My fucking, all of my blood work, he's like, I would say you're 30 by looking at your blood work. I pretty much quit, like, that beer that I just had, the only beer I'm gonna have today. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't even smoke actual weed anymore. I use a vape pen, and most of the time I'm taking edibles. Guys, because YouTube has stopped cracking down on the jazz cabbage stuff, there is nothing better than taking a 100 milligram edible at 5:30 at night, and at 6:15 ish when it starts to kick in, go on a long ass walk with your dog. I have went on some walks with a dog. I walked to the border from here and back one night. I walked the one night and looked up and I was like, where the fuck am I at? Fucking great. I love being able to go for a walk. And it does help a lot with the pain, and it helps with the PTSD. There's just so much going on with that. I don't know how I feel about knives with glowing butt plugs. Thanks for ruining it for me, Josh. It's a lanyard hole plug. This was actually fairly easy. This Crew Carta version of this was so easy to get apart compared to the other ones that I have. Usually you have a horrible time getting these knives apart because the original, well, where's it at? I'll show you. It's over here. And this one is flared, but so this is what was originally in that area. God damn. It's sticky today. It's 86 degrees out here, but it's also, I'm like, what am I, 2 miles, less than 2 miles from the ocean? It's stupid humid today. So this is what was in there, and these are flared. I don't know how well you guys can see that. These are flared. They're cut this way. And so what happens is you take the knife apart, but then you can't actually get the knife apart because this piece is flared into material, but I didn't have a problem getting it out. So you just take the knife apart and then you just drop that in and then put it back together. So it just fills that spot. How much was the tritium plug? I think it was 30. I got the receipt over here. It was 30. I got my invoice. With shipping and tax, it was $39.57. And the fact, I love tritium. Tritium's a really cool material. Having things glow. My Pew Pew that you guys can't see that's over there, the one with the rattlesnake colored grips, has got tritium night sights that I put on it. They are great. There's nothing more reassuring than looking over on your bedstand and seeing 3 little lights because you heard a noise in the middle of the night. And you fucking open one eye and you look over and there's 2 lights on a rear sight, 1 on a front sight. And you're like, yeah, everything's fine. I dig it. I love stuff that glows. I love tritium. It's gotten to a point where it's actually easy. It's cheap now to afford. Like something like this a few years ago, you'd have been looking at like $80 to $100 for an accessory like that. The price on some of that stuff has went down, and Glow Rhino has been the driving force on it because they basically took over production of everything that's tritium. If you're gonna buy something with tritium, Glow Rhino had a hand in it. So it's actually pretty cool. Like if you're buying it in the US, pretty much that's who you're getting it from. Whether you're actually getting it from them or if you're getting it from someone else. So, we got like 7 minutes left before I want to end this. I just thought we would hang out for a full 2 hours. You guys got anything going on? You got any questions? Yeah, the tritium sight. Well, sights are different. Sights are different. Pistol sights are different because you know they're milled. They're meant to fit that dovetail slot on the pistol. Mine were replacements. It came with I basically got them from Sig. Sig had the original sights on this were not night sights, and I didn't pay. I want to say I paid $200 for tritium night sights for that back in the day, right when I first bought that pistol, and I just changed out the sights, and everything, and so it really wasn't that hard. You know, they're just dovetailed in. You just got to have a set of drift punches. Don't use steel drift punches on your handguns, guys. I'm gonna tell you right now. Get the brass drift punches. They're gonna save the finish on your Pew Pews. Spyderco is discontinuing ZDP. I can see. I've had So I have a Spyderco ZDP 189 Endura, and they've never gotten their heat treat right on ZDP. They really haven't. A lot of people disagree with me. I've never gotten a good heat treat on ZDP 189 from Spyderco. Their S90V is on point. It is incredible. It is such a great heat treat on that steel. They just never got their ZDP 189 down, and ZDP 189 is an expensive material. It really is. It's one of those ones that's a little bit more on the pricey side. I wanted to show you guys this one. I love this knife. So Beyond EDC may make a comeback. I was talking with David on the phone. So they may make a glorious return. Let's go see what it's like outside. Oh, it's such a nice day. It is a beautiful day out. Let's go check on my rose bushes. My wife cut all the good ones off of here and took them to work with her. She got all the ones off of here too. That's all right. I got some roses about to start blooming. Some buds coming up on this. I'm going to... My buddy is coming back over this weekend, and I'm going to get my cornhole tables. This side yard is just perfect for cornhole. Is the perfect length for cornhole. Absolutely, it's perfect. You don't get a better... Look at that. It doesn't get any better. You put your cooler of beer right here in the middle. Your cornhole table, one at that end, one at this end, and then you just simply open this up like this, and then everybody can just, we can have the barbecue set up back there, and everybody can just walk back and forth. I got a canopy that we can put out over this area right here, and then you can sit here. I've got a couple chairs for here. I got the rose bushes in the backyard. And then, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I spend, if I'm not editing and I'm not filming and I'm not spending time with my wife and kid, I'm sitting on that bench over there, just enjoying life and contemplating everything. I'm not gonna lie, that's where I spark a joint. I do. It's just about perfect. I hate San Diego. I do. I hate San Diego. I hate their policies. I hate all the shit, how much they charge me. I hate my tax rates, and I hate how much my water bill is, and I hate my electric bill. But when it comes down to it, if you really had to, it's pretty nice here. That's where I have my higher thoughts. Exactly. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you guys want to be able to enjoy your garage as an addition to your living spaces, get one of these. You get one of these, and you turn your garage door into a bay window, the biggest screen door you've got. Oh, it's great. It's just perfect. The only problem is I didn't close the Velcro, and so the wind is blowing it open. It's one of those magnetic things. This thing is just incredible, and it wasn't expensive. And we don't have flies in the house now. We used to have flies constantly because I'd have the garage door open and shit. And now it's just amazing. So now we've just reached the point where I'm just generally BSing with you guys. Oh, that is so good. This chair. Oh. Caroline, if you're watching this, or if you're watching this later in Spain, thank you. And thank your husband for this chair. This thing is amazing. So my friend was moving to Spain, and they came out to visit. I hadn't seen him in a few years. She was, she was an intelligence specialist when I was in the military, and we made friends. And then she got out and worked for the government. Now she is doing Secretary of State duty or State Department duty as a civilian in Spain. So when she took that job, they stopped by because they were like, "Hey, I'm not going to see you for like 3 years. We're taking an overseas posting," and her and her husband bought me this really nice gaming chair. Here, I'll show you. So she bought me this gaming chair, her and her husband, and that's just a shadow. This thing is, it's tits. It's fucking great. It reclines all the way back. It's got a pull out. It's got a pull out footstool. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I have taken numerous naps in this chair. Matter of fact, I don't think I'm doing anything else today. I'm Wyoming bound, then home market picks back up. Brother, 18 months to retirement. I'm on that road to Stomp 442 Ranch. Well, hey man, you're always welcome to stop by San Diego. So, guys, I'm going to end this. It's been 2 hours. It's been beautiful hanging out with you guys. I haven't done live feed in a few days. It's been hectic. The wife and kid came back. I've been dealing with some depression and stuff because I lost the job, and it really sunk in when I had to start filling out paperwork for unemployment and build a resume and stuff for that, and because there's some weird requirements here in San Diego which you have to do, and I had to do a bunch of different stuff, and so it's been kind of, I don't know. I just haven't been in the mood to do much. I filmed like 3 videos yesterday. And get them edited, but I was spending time with the wife and kid. The kid and I went a couple places. We did some stuff together. So I owe you a new ad. Yes, I will get that put together, but I'm gonna get those other videos edited. They'll go to the paying members first, and then you guys will start to see them trickle out. I gotta say, if you're watching me here, I would also appreciate if you gave my Rumble channel a follow, because I'm gonna try and start doing more videos that are specific to Rumble. I owe that. I have like 500 subscribers on Rumble. It's not a lot, but like it's hard to build an audience over there. It's taken me a long time to build the audience that I have here. So if you don't mind rewatching content, you can watch my videos here where I make money, and then watch them on Rumble to try and get more interaction. I knew I put one of those in the refrigerator. And I have to get another appointment because if you guys notice, there's some weirdness to my face and mouth. I've noticed that I've got some palsy on one side of my face. My doctor thinks I might have some CTE going on. Because when we talked about it, he was like, "Hey, do you realize that you have 15 documented concussions?" And I was like, "That's documented, bud. That's not counting the bar fights and all the other shit that I did, and shit that I did growing up, and living and working on a farm when I was a kid. It's there's a good chance that I'm experiencing a bit of boxer's dementia." So at any rate, guys, I love y'all. I'll talk to you later. Keep your powder dry, your knife sharp. Keep your pecker in your pants, less chance of catching herpes that way. I will see you guys later.